Good morning. It's Friday morning of the day the restrictions start again. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe we're not going to be in church on Sunday, but the service will go ahead, and we hope that as many as possible will tune in for that. In a sense, we're just defaulting back to where we were before July, and we've done so well as a church. It's been great being able to get into church and worship together and be together from July through to really last Sunday. Let's pray this is a short-term, 2-week thing. It doesn't go on much longer than that. This Sunday is the first Sunday in Advent, so we're missing the first 2 Sundays in Advent in God's house, which saddens me, but there's not much we can do about it, and we have to trust that this is for the good of everyone and not just ourselves. But we're looking at the last part of this reading that we've been looking at from Mark chapter 2, verses 23 to 28 this morning. We'll be looking at the whole observance of the Sabbath, the Lord's Day, Sunday. These terms are all used to mean the same sort of thing, but I'm not convinced that the Sabbath and Sunday are necessarily the same sort of thing, and I mentioned that during the week. I'm still trying to process that thought and work it out myself. But there's one thing that comes through very clearly at the end of this reading. We thought about verse 27 yesterday, and I want to read verse 27 and then verse 28 on this Friday morning. And verse 27 says, and he said to them, this is the Lord speaking to the Pharisees who were having a go at his disciples for pulling the grain off the stalks and eating it as they walked through the field on the Sabbath day. And he said to them, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. And we thought yesterday about how the fact that the Sabbath is given to us graciously by God, and it is such an amazingly gracious gift that God would give us a day where he said, look, this is a day where you have to stop, a day where you've got to pull the plug out, a day when you've got to sit down, a day when you've got to take it easy and stop pushing yourself so hard, because I know what your body can take, and I need you to do this because I am the author of creation. I made you, I know what's best for you, and you will work best and you'll be most productive if you take that day off. Now, this morning, as we look at this, the verse comes after that, so the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. So let's go back to remind ourselves, this is a conversation between the Pharisees and Jesus. This is them trying to basically say, our law, which you, Jesus, should be under, our law says that what they've just done is wrong. Jesus is saying, at the end of the day, all they did was pull a few grains of corn off. David did far more than that. David, who is our ancestor, did far more than that. David, who is my ancestor, because we obviously know in a certain amount of hindsight that Jesus was dropping in the idea there that he was a descendant, as the Messiah was a descendant from David, and it was good enough for his great times 9 grandfather, then it's also okay for him to do it. David is only setting a precedent. But he finishes this conversation with this hammer blow of a comment, which I'm still not sure the Pharisees picked up on, because we're still only in chapter 2 of Mark's Gospel. This is still only really the beginning of Jesus' ministry. Things were still being thought through and worked out, but he was still doing things and healing, etc., teaching with authority, which made them wonder exactly who he was or who he thought he was. But he basically says, so the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. In other words, this is so important that the lordship over the Sabbath is invested in the Son of Man. In other words, I am the Lord, I am the Son of Man, I am the Messiah, I am the Son of the Most High God, or the Son of Man as the phrase is often used in Mark's Gospel. And as such, who are you to tell me what I can say can happen on the Sabbath? I am the Lord even of the Sabbath. In other words, if I, as the Messiah, want to do this, then I can do this. I have the right to do this. God has given me the right to do whatever I want with the Sabbath. I am not being told by man what I can or cannot do on a day that I was part of creating. Do you understand? There's an incredible picture going on here. Basically, Jesus is saying, stop. I have the right to say what happens in the Sabbath, because I am Lord even of the Sabbath. Not only am I Lord of creation, but I'm Lord of the Sabbath. And human law cannot dictate to me what I can do in the Sabbath. Now, we don't know how much of this the Pharisees picked up on, or the crowd who were maybe standing around listening to picked up on. But Jesus, what he wasn't saying as the Son of Man, I can tell you this, he said the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. And when you hear that, that's basically the conversation's ended. That's the end of the conversation, because there's nothing more the Pharisees could say. And it's interesting to note that Mark doesn't continue on. Verse 28 finishes chapter 2, and we're going to start chapter 3, because the Pharisees dropped the microphone. That was the end of the conversation. They couldn't say any more. That was it. But it meant them going away wondering to themselves, who does he think he is? Or did some of them think, wow, we've got it all wrong. We've just tried to tell the Son of God what he should do on the day he created. And what a dilemma. Thankfully, we don't have that dilemma. Jesus is the Lord. He is the Lord of the Sabbath. He's told us the Sabbath is there for our good, and a day when we can draw aside and think and worship and pray. So I pray that you have a good Sabbath day, a good break this weekend, an opportunity to take a day off work, but also a day when you can think more especially of God and his incredible love for you in giving you a Sabbath rest. Thanks for being with me this week. Hope you have a great weekend, whatever you get to do. I pray you have time with family and friends, and you get the opportunity to worship God. And we'll see you again soon.